to present two commendations awards to two individuals who are very, very valuable to this community, and presentation from the Black Panther Party Alumni Association is for recognition of their commitment to continuing to struggle. General Paco.
Yes, sir. Black power, black people. All power to the people. We're gonna do like Bucky Carter said. He said, nigga, if you don't do nothing else, spit on the pig. Spit on the pig. Spit on the pig. We must unite as a people. They bust us in the head, kidnapped us from Africa, and brought us over here to pick cotton, and we still enslaved. We enslaved by the presidential complex. We enslaved by capitalism and imperialism. We must stand up. It doesn't matter if Obama's got an office. We must be free. A black face in a high place does not mean freedom. We must move. It's like Mario Andretti, who was the fastest race car driver in the world. But if you put that fastest race car driver in the world inside of a Pinto, no matter what, he can't make that Pinto go no faster than it was designed to move. If it's only designed to move at a ragged 50 miles an hour, that's all it's going to go. American capitalism, American imperialism must be destroyed. We have a constitutional right to bear arms and defend ourselves. Our enemies are still the big businessmen. Our enemies are still the fascist pigs. Our enemy is the demon ruling class. Our ideology is the same. We just decided to bring blood to come together. Like Bucky Carter did, like Fred Hampton did, like George Jackson did. We happy to be here. I represent for all my comrades in the corner. I love all the elders. Y'all is fired up. But we must do this for Bucky Carter. We must do this for Fred Hampton. We must do this for George Jackson. And like the rumor said when he got out of jail in New York, when he talked to Mandela. We will not give up the fight. We will not give up the fight. We will not give up the fight.
Peace family, this Brother Rich, Underground Railroad Productions, UGR TV. Ali just said something real important to me, and I want the brother to drop it on the camera. It's one of the best researchers out. The brother Ali said in a time where our information is so fragmented, so scattered around everywhere, so divided, Ali said, man, Rich, everywhere we go, we home. I want the brother to elaborate on that. Just talk to the family, Ali. Elaborate on it, please, brother.
Here's the thing, man. I said it and I said it on the stage. I'm going to say it right here. I see something happening in our community. I don't like it. We set tripping on black history, right? Set tripping. Like, okay, the Moors versus the Nile Valley. The Nile Valley versus the Hebrew. The Hebrew versus the people who call themselves ancient Americans. Like, this is getting ridiculous. And so the foundational principle that we need to lay down is like, look, the black man and woman been in every part of the planet Earth. We're the first people in every part. We can document it. That's what these presentations are about. We already know that, right? Why are we still meeting on that? You see what I'm saying? Why are we still meeting for feel-good sessions on history? That is for children. If we grown right now, all of us live in the real world. How do we take these platforms and build from the ground up? So my point was, the first slide I showed was a slide from a place called Chichen Itza with black people who look like us arresting the people that we call Native Americans, who they consider foreigners coming onto their land. You see what I'm saying? So we do still got to rework some history because everybody don't know that. But my point is, everywhere we go, we home. So if everywhere we go, we home, We need to act like it. Can all these black scholars in here who come together put something together for our people? It could be a body politic, united front, saying, look, this is how we're going to deal with all black issues. I don't care if it's Wakanda McDonald. I don't care whatever. We put all the law researchers out. We can put the historians out. We can put the healing people out in one body. It don't mean you got to leave your organization. We just need something like that at this time. We being called to that. Otherwise, niggas just going to be pissing on each other on the stage, trying to show who can beat their breast the hardest. And that's what's happening, bro. And so it's coming to the point where irresponsibility is the order of the day in the conscious community because we're not moving to the next level. And my point is this. Are you scared? Is there something in you that's actually scared? I just told them last week, Homeland Security was on my block. They named the whole organization, the terrorist organization, off an organization that we started called ISIS. We started that 11 years ago. Everybody know Ali Muhammad and ISIS. Ali Muhammad, I wasn't no ISIS terrorist. So now we busting these people in the ass financially, politically. And so they go and name a damn terrorist organization after us. So my point is, they know what's serious and they know what's not serious. This is not, listen, this is great for black people to come together. Shit, black people come together in church on Sundays. We talk shit about them like something is wrong with them. But look, what's the girl name, the sister name, who took down the Confederate flag in South Carolina? Mae Jemison. She was a Christian. Ain't no black power people went down there and took the flag down. So I'm tired of just like going back and forth. Either you got heart or you don't. I don't care where you at. And we can read it. If you're a Christian, you got heart. She got heart. She climbed the pole, homie. I ain't do it. You see what I'm saying? So now when I saw it, I was ashamed. I was in tears. Why do a black woman got to go take the flag down? She should be home chilling like, oh, my husband got that. You see what I'm saying? So, look, if you're a Hebrew, they going to stay Hebrews, man. If they Muslims, they going to stay Muslims. If they Nile Valley, they going to stay Nile Valley. If they Olmec, whatever they into, they going to stay that. Cool. Cool. You're not changing that, man. The point is, how can the leadership get together? Who's actually even calling for it? So my point is, listen, man, if you're a leader and you see what's going on right now and you're not calling for some type of unified body for our people, man, something is wrong with you, man. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. It's questionable. So we here. Listen, I had slides up there that show evidence of humans on this land 65 million years ago. All right? I'm just saying. Like, yo, that's a long time. But look, the people who certified and credentialed the information was not from Europe. They was from South America. They was from Mexico. They was from all those places. You see what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is, at the end of the day, if we home, we home. God damn it, we can talk about all kind of shit. But we home. Everywhere the black man go, we home.
Ali Muhammad is one of our best speakers, man. He's one of our best teachers.
And this is my brother right here. You know what I mean? I love him to death. Literally. You know what I mean?
He's one of our best. I do acknowledge that.
Hey, and I acknowledge you, God. I acknowledge
Respect.
you. I love you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It ain't nothing but two lions just pouring in.
That's all.
That's all it is.
I need it.
Yeah.
I need it.
Listen, that's all it is.
Looking at you and shit like that. Fuck you.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Listen.
A question I have, Ali, is I want to like examine it, just looking at it from like a microcosm, macrocosm aspect. You want us to unite in terms of different ideologies outside, you know, as far as the community. But let's start from home. Do you think it's possible, Ali Muhammad, with that being said, what you just said, is it possible? Could you be with a Christian woman? You want us to unite in a community, but what I'm saying is, if a woman is good at heart, she's taking down the correct Confederate flag, she's looking for a man. Can she look toward Ali Muhammad as a potential mate for her, or are you going to say, I don't deal with Christian women?
I'm talking about a different type of unity. I'm talking about a different type of unity. She already got a community of men who have the same basic value system as her, all right? But she's still black and she's in America, all right? She's still a part of what we would call the indigenous populations. So now, I'm not going to overstep those men bounds because that's their community. You see what I'm saying? If I'm going to do anything, I'm just going to say if I see it, I got her back. You see what I'm saying? That's it. So I don't need to be intimate with a woman who won't have the exact same value system, but she's still my sister. And what I'm talking about when I say socio-politically, I'm saying this. If we know for a fact that the people that we call in Africa, African Americans, are the oldest people on this land, then what type of information do we have access to where we can unite and join? There's a legal scholar. He's on Facebook. His name is Mustafa Ansari. Ansari. He's an international lawyer. Look the brother up. He created a plebiscite. This brother was back with Malcolm. He created a plebiscite. You know what a plebiscite is? It is an offering for a group of people who have lost their identity based on international law to come together with their own institutions and frameworks so that they could operate those frameworks. And what that will look like is, look, let's say we buy the National Black Theater, right? Now we know this is a place of culture, spirituality, etc. Dr. Ali Muhammad and Mustafa Ansari got a process where we could go file certain documents and say, you know what? The sheriff is never going to take this building. We can tax exempt this building for the rest of the building's life. That will save the National Black Theater over all the time it's going to exist, thousands and thousands of dollars that they're putting into the pockets of Manhattan County or wherever who is taking the money. What if we could show every black family how to do that same process and how to be sales tax exempt? They're going to say, if they're making $50,000 a year, they're going to save $5,000, $10,000 a year. So I'm saying those types of things. Let's meet on that. Because if you're a Christian, you can use it. If you're Nile Valley, you can use it. You can whatever. You can use those particular things. There's a lot of things that are available to our people, and so we need to start having those types of discussions so that we can bring something to these people who are coming to us, man. They're giving us $30 at the door. They're coming to buy products. They feel good about themselves, and then if they do that for 10 years, you know what happens? They're like, okay, I already got that. I ain't going no more. I'm good. Now you just lost an investor because you didn't have a paradigm to lead them step by step into things that can take them to keep them as a part of the community that you're trying to develop. And so what I'm saying is we got to improve our information in that area, and we got to improve the activity in the area. And the only way we can do it is if we talk about it. I'm not here to talk about Nile Valley no more, man. Listen, I got books all the way back to the back. I mean, we could do that online. Niggas can Google that. They can YouTube that. Let's talk about some things that can actually bring some change in people's lives, man. Like, look, most people don't know that when a mayor like Rahm Emanuel is in office and something like that happens, they got tricked. They had the state representative saying that they got to go and get a law to try to get him out. Every mayor that gets elected has a recall and is part of the home rule charters in every municipality. If you get 50% of the people, the amount to sign a petition, take it to the board of the election, the next day the nigga got to get out of the office. Every city has that. You see what I'm saying? So if black people get educated on these particular things, I call the people, I'm trying to contact the people like, listen, y'all want to get rid of this, how y'all got to do it. It's a lot of disorganization. We need to have more of these types of discussions where we're talking about those types of things. You know what I mean? Another issue. All this killing of our brothers and sisters, listen, anybody who knows, look, go out to like a suburban or, you know, go to Idaho somewhere. Who runs the law enforcement in those areas? It's the sheriff. The sheriff runs it and he deputizes people from the community. Right now, every city that all our brothers and sisters are getting shot down, killed down in, if the mayors and the people who they elect the city council said to the police, listen, y'all corrupt. The sheriff is the constitutional law officer. If we elect a black sheriff in, he could deputize black people to carry guns in their own neighborhood to police their neighborhoods. Let's have a discussion about that. It's endless, bro. All I'm saying is that we can change the course of what's going on by getting the culture, getting the people to know who they are, Nile Valley, all this stuff. Then we got to move in another direction. And it's time for us to move in another direction.
In Texas, they lynch Negroes. My teammates and I saw a man strung up by his neck. A lynch mob pressed our faces against the floorboard. I looked at my teammates. I saw the fear in their eyes. And worse, the shame. was this Negro's crime that he should be hung without trial in a dark forest filled with fog? Was he a thief? Was he a killer? Or just a Negro? Was he a sharecropper? A preacher? Were his children waiting up for him? And who are we to just lie there and do nothing? No matter what he did, the mob was the criminal. But the law did nothing. Just left us wondering why. My opponent says, nothing that erodes the rule of law can be moral. But there is no rule of law in the Jim Crow South. Not when Negroes are denied housing, turned away from schools, hospitals, and not when we are rich. St. Augustine said, an unjust law is no law at all. Which means I have a right, even a duty, to resist. With violence or civil disobedience. You should pray I choose the latter.
Tonight's debate between Harvard University and Wiley College.
You understand what I'm saying? That's a damn shame. But my art is symbolic of justice. That black woman, that divine queen, that African goddess, that's our woman. And I want to say on this video, black woman, I'm with you and your baby, 1,000%. God damn it, they're gonna have to take me for what happened to our sisters and our children that last time. We're not going to ever let that happen again to our queens and to our babies. Fuck the law. Fuck everything. When it comes down to what happened to us, we must vow as men to goddamn it if we all got to go in the ground to never let that happen to our queens ever again. We owe them that. We owe them that. And we must step up and we must take that oath. And if we catch a nigga off the square, you know the rest. You see our knee here, and you see his cock, which is representative of the bird with his head on. That is where the angel came from. And okay, let me turn the page so I can get to the rest. Now, you see Heru, who is the son of Asa. You understand what I'm saying? And here's Ani being taken to Asa, the father of resurrection, who you got to go and see. And he's going to have to give you the okay that you can go on into the netherworld. And so just like in Christianity where it says, to get to the Father, you must first come through the Son. Here it is. Here's the scene of judgment that you must go through, black man and black woman, when it's your time to see your ancestors. That's a blessing that our ancestors left this for us. Do you think that they left this for you so you could go spew their enemies' goddamn law that they enacted when they murdered our people? Y'all sound like some goddamn fools. Let me go into the scriptures, the so-called Holy Bible. And there is some, you understand, even though it is not my book per se, they took many of these laws in this book from out of the metal now because they knew that they were the type of laws that you can establish a government with to keep your people going in a direction of prosperity. That's why they took it. So you can't throw it all away because there is some African in it. Now I said the laws. I didn't say nothing about the mythological goddamn stories that they create around the law to make it look like that they are the authors of the law, which they are not the authors of the law, that it came up out of Kemet, Nubia, Ethiopia, it came up out of the Nile. Reading from Psalms 62, verse 10, it says, trust not in oppression. Trust not in oppression. Taken from Proverbs 3:31, it says, envy not thy oppressor, and choose none of his ways. Envy thou not thy oppressor, and choose none of his ways. I'm going to read it to you again. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none. And for all you niggas that's always pulling out Noah Webster's dictionary to document every goddamn word, when Noah Webster's goddamn people was still in a fucking cave eating bear shit while we were in the Nile, in the highest developed civilization and culture on the planet, you want to read from Noah Webster's dictionary, whose people were still crawling on all goddamn fours, and right now today, is many of them still crawling on all goddamn fours. But since you want to go read out of that goddamn dictionary, read what none means. When it says choose none of his ways, none means zero. None means not any. None means nothing at all. None means zilch. It means nothing. Don't choose nothing from your oppressor. You know, the first rule of the craft of Amun-Ra is to never participate in the traditions of your enemies.
Resolve. Negroes should be admitted. I can't hear you. Resolved. Negroes should be admitted to state universities. My partner and I will prove that blocking a Negro's admission to a state university is not only wrong, it is absurd. The Negro people are not just a color in the American fabric. They are the thread that holds it all together. Consider the legal and historical record. May 13, 1865, Sergeant Crocker, a Negro, is the last soldier to die in the Civil War. 1918, the first U.S. soldiers decorated for bravery in France are Negroes Henry Johnson and Needham Roberts. 1920, the New York Times announces that the end in Negro would hereafter be capitalized.
Force upon the South, what they are not ready for, would result in nothing but more racial hatred. Dr. W.E.B. Du Bois, he's perhaps the most eminent Negro scholar in America. He comments, it's a silly waste of money, time, and temper to try and compel a powerful majority to do what they are determined not to do.
My opponent so conveniently chose to ignore the fact that W.E.B. Du Bois
is the first Negro to receive a PhD from a white college, called Harvard. Dr. Du Bois, he adds, it is impossible for a Negro to receive a proper education at a white college. The most eminent Negro scholar in America is the product of an Ivy League education. You see, Du Bois knows all too well the white man's resistance to change. But that's no reason to keep a black man out of any college. If someone didn't force upon the South something it wasn't ready for, I'd still be in chains and this book here be running from old Massa.
I do admit it. It is true. Far too many whites are afflicted with the disease of racial hatred. And because of racism, it would be impossible for a Negro to be happy at a Southern white college today. And if someone is unhappy, it is impossible to see how they could receive a proper education. Yes, a time will come when Negroes and whites will walk on the same campus and we will share the same classrooms. Sadly, that day is not today.
As long as schools are segregated, Negroes will receive an education that is both separate and unequal. By Oklahoma's own reckoning, the state is currently spending 5 times more for the education of a white child than it is spending to educate a colored child. That means better textbooks for that child than for that child. Oh, I say that's a shame, but my opponent says today is not the day for whites and colors to go to the same college, to share the same campus, to walk in the same classroom. Well, would you kindly tell me when is that day gonna come? Is it gonna come tomorrow? Is it gonna come next week? In 100 years? Never? No, the time for justice, the time for freedom, and the time for equality is always right now.